through worship. Justice is only possible through worship. With justice, we have duties and responsibilities toward our country and toward the world. Just as Jesus said to the Pharisees, "Give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar." At the same time, however, we have duties and responsibilities toward God. We must give to God what belongs to God, most importantly, through worship. To practice the virtue of justice in its highest form, it should be expressed by worshiping God in the sacred liturgy. Because worship, in the context of religion, is the highest form of justice, the noblest way of giving God what is due to Him. It is no coincidence that the encounter of Jesus and the Pharisees we heard in today's gospel unfolded in the temple. The temple of Jerusalem was a site highly regarded by the Jews. It was the only site where sacrifices were offered to God so that they might give Him what was due to Him, and so truly experience freedom from any forms of oppression. However, the temple itself pointed forward to its fulfillment in the incarnation of the God-made man, Jesus Christ Himself, who described His body as the new temple. Therefore, it is in the very person of Jesus Christ that divinity and humanity meet, that the heavenly and the earthly converge. And because of this, it is by worshiping Him that we can give God His due, that true justice is possible. Moreover, God's justice is perfectly manifested in the very person of Jesus Christ. Jesus is justice personified. Jesus is justice personified. He gave to the Father what is due to Him by giving His whole self to Him, even to the point of death. Now, if Jesus Christ is justice personified, perhaps the reason why there is so much injustice in the world is because many people have eradicated God from their existence. They have put Jesus aside and think that they can live without Him in their lives. They therefore no longer strive after justice. Because of this, the poor and the weak are oppressed. Innocent lives are killed. Wars spread, and thousands of people are displaced. However, we do not have to look outside our homes and society to see injustice. Statistics show that 600 children in the U.S. experience abuse or neglect every year. 20 to 40% of divorces in the country are caused by infidelity. In 2022, Baltimore City recorded the nation's second highest gun-related death rate, with a total of 269. These are only a few of the consequences of injustice in the world, showing how people have trampled on other people's right to live and thrive. Truth be said, we can only be just in our dealings with others if we give God what is due to Him. We can only be just in our dealings with others if we give God what is due to Him. And how is justice shown to God? It is giving justice to God is best expressed by worshiping Him in the sacred liturgy. In fact, we can only give what is due to our neighbors if we prioritize worshiping God in spirit and in truth. That is, worshiping Him in the sacred liturgy. The liturgy creates a relationship between God and His people and with one another in a community of faith. The sacred liturgy is how earthly time is inserted into the time of Jesus Christ, thereby connecting the gap between the divine and the human, the sacred and the profane, the perfection of God and the imperfection of man. However, the liturgy is not just a community event of sorts. It is not just about us grasping at how we might serve the Lord, but it is about God revealing to us the manner of worship He desires. After all, it is Christ Himself who, first and foremost, offers worship to the Father in the liturgy. When we come to Mass, we join the one eternal sacrifice of Jesus to the Father. This is how we give the Lord glory and honor, as the psalmist exclaims. Now, since the sacred liturgy is the memorial of Jesus' greatest act of giving to the Father what is due to Him, the whole Church, also unites ourselves with the offering and intercession of Christ in the Eucharistic celebration. This is why we make sure that everything pertaining to the Holy Mass must express solemnity and reverence. This includes the way we dress, the way we carry ourselves, the manner we receive Holy Communion, and the way we give priority to the celebration. Internally, we examine our conscience and go to confession. Externally, we make sure that everything used in the celebration is the best possible. The best vestments, vessels, music, altar linens, everything that pertains to the Eucharist must always be the best possible. Why? Because we want to give to God what belongs to God. The reason why we are spending millions of dollars for the church's renovation is not only for us to have a comfortable space to gather, but mainly to give justice and do reverence in the sacraments to be celebrated in the church, particularly in worshiping God in the sacred liturgy. We are called to foster a sense of the sacred so that hopefully we may extend these reverential acts in our dealings with others. We find our strength in Jesus Christ, who is justice personified. In Him, we find strength to begin to change the injustice in us and around us. In Him, we find comfort that in the end, all will be well. Jesus links us together to a community of mutual rights and responsibilities. In turn, we become just in our dealings with others. We pay our taxes to the government fairly, for example. If you are a student, you try to be diligent with your studies. If you are entrusted with finances, you do not extort. If you are married, you strive to be faithful to your spouse. In every situation, we thus strive to live out the demands of justice. Although we continue to find ourselves grappling with life's injustices and aware of our own frailty, we do not lose hope. We find strength in Jesus Christ, who, in the sacred liturgy, continues to offer Himself to the Father on our behalf. Thus, we are assured that whenever the sacred liturgy, the Holy Mass, is celebrated, we are hopeful that justice can be served and that all will be well. All will be well.